Why does God keep you alive after 60? My friend, this is not a question of age, but a question of divine intention. When you wake up each morning, when you open your eyes and see the sunlight touching your face, that is not by accident. That is the voice of God saying, I still have something for you to do. Every breath you take beyond 60 is a declaration that your purpose has not ended. It means the hand of God is still upon you. It means you are not finished. You are being refined. You may look at your hands and see wrinkles. You may feel the slowing of your body. But let me tell you something. God never measures your usefulness by your youth. He measures it by your willingness. You are not alive today because of luck or because medicine kept you here. You are alive because God still has a purpose for you that no one else can fulfill. The reason God keeps you alive after 60 is because He still wants to speak through you, bless through you, love through you, and show His power through your story. So many people, when they grow older, begin to believe that life is behind them. They say, my strength is gone. My best days are over. But God looks at you and says, no, I am not finished with you yet. God keeps you alive after 60 because He wants to use your wisdom, your scars, your battles, your victories, your pain, your experience to bless others who are still learning how to walk with Him. You carry something sacred within you, something that was not meant to die when your youth faded. God keeps you because you are a vessel of His timeless truth. There are people who needed you to survive. There are souls that would never know strength if you had given up. You see, when you are young, you live by energy. But when you are older, you live by wisdom. And God uses the wisdom of those who have walked long with Him to shape the future of those who are still finding their way. You are a teacher now. You are a carrier of the fire of experience. God does not discard vessels that have carried His light for decades. He refines them so the light burns even brighter. Think of it, every hardship you endured, every prayer you whispered in the dark, every tear you shed when no one was watching, all of it was shaping your spirit. It was God preparing you for a time like this. God keeps you alive after 60 because He wants you to tell the world that He is faithful. You are a living testimony that even after storms, even after failures, even after betrayals, even after loss, God still sustains. When you were young, you ran ahead, you dreamed, you built, you planned. But now, after 60, God slows you down not because He has abandoned you, but because He wants you to listen more deeply. He wants to reveal Himself to you in quietness. The young chase success, the mature seek meaning. And meaning is where God speaks. You are alive because your spirit has reached a level where God can now trust you with deeper truth. He has seen you rise and fall, and yet you still bow before Him. That kind of faith cannot be taught. It is forged through years. That's why He keeps you. Do you know what pleases God most? A heart that still beats for Him after all these years. Many people start with fire, but they lose their flame along the way. Yet here you are, still talking to God, still seeking His voice, still thanking Him for the simple things. That is why you are still alive, because your relationship with God has matured beyond noise and pride. It has become pure, silent love. God keeps alive the ones who know how to walk humbly with Him, for they are His witnesses in a noisy world. Maybe you have wondered, why am I still here when so many of my friends have gone? God's timing is perfect. Some He calls early, others He keeps longer, not as a punishment, but as purpose. He has left you as a lamp for your family, as a voice of reason for the younger generation, as a guardian of spiritual wisdom in your home. Your survival is not coincidence. It is divine preservation. God keeps those whom He still needs to use. The world may not notice you anymore. Society often celebrates youth and forgets the elderly. But God's kingdom is not like the world. In the world, people retire at 60. In God's plan, you are fired at 60. Your spirit is renewed. Your assignment is refined. You are called to speak truth that no one else dares to speak. You are called to walk in patience when others are restless. You are called to demonstrate peace when others panic. God keeps you alive to remind the world that true strength is not in muscle, but in faith. There's someone watching you right now, your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors. They see how you face each day. They see that you still give thanks, that you still smile, that you still help others even when you have your own needs. You are preaching with your life. You are teaching without words. That is why God keeps you alive. Because your very presence is ministry. Your consistency is faith in motion. And let me tell you, age does not limit your blessing, it expands it. The older you become, the more space God has to show His faithfulness. You have seen the seasons change, and yet you have not been consumed. You have seen storms pass, and yet you are still standing. That alone makes you a miracle. God keeps you alive because you are a walking revelation of His power to sustain. Some people think their worth diminishes after 60. But in truth, that is when your spirit becomes most valuable. Because now you have learned what truly matters. You no longer chase approval. You no longer bow to fear. You no longer measure your success by what people say. You have found peace in God, and that peace is what others are desperately searching for. God keeps you because you are now ready to be a guide. Your gray hair is not a sign of decline. It is a crown of endurance. Each line on your face tells a story of how God delivered you. Each ache in your body is a reminder of how He carried you. God is glorified in your survival. He is glorified in your resilience. When the young see that you are still strong in faith, despite the passage of time, they learn what it means to truly walk with God. You are a lighthouse for those lost in the fog of modern life. Think about this. How many times could death have taken you? How many close calls? How many hospital visits? How many nights you thought you wouldn't see the morning? Yet here you are. That is not chance, that is preservation. God looked at you and said, "Not yet. My work in you is not complete." So stop asking why you are still here and start asking, what more does God want to do through me? God does not count your years. He counts your purpose. If there is still someone who needs your counsel, if there is still a heart that needs your forgiveness, if there is still a soul that needs your prayer, then your mission is not done. You may not run as fast as before, but your prayer can reach farther than your feet ever could. Your words can touch hearts your hands can no longer hold. Your wisdom can heal wounds your eyes may never see. God keeps you alive because the world still needs what He planted in you. When you were younger, your strength carried you. Now, God carries you. When you were younger, you believed you could do everything. Now, you know only God can. That humility is what gives your life depth and beauty. You have reached an age where pride no longer rules, and that makes you truly powerful in spirit. God keeps those who have learned to depend fully on Him, because they are the pillars that uphold the faith of generations. Every day you live beyond 60 is a reward of grace. You have walked through fire and come out refined. You have faced loss but never lost hope. You have buried dreams but found peace in God's will. And that is the secret of spiritual maturity. To still trust when things no longer make sense. God keeps alive those whose faith can no longer be shaken by circumstances. You see, the younger ones often pray for miracles, but you are the miracle. You are proof that time does not defeat those who trust in God. You are proof that faith can outlast pain and love can outlive sorrow. You are proof that the Spirit does not grow old. Your life is the evidence of God's promise that those who lean on Him shall be renewed day by day. And do not think your days are small. Even if you cannot travel, even if you cannot do what you once did, your prayer still moves mountains. Your quiet presence still changes atmospheres. When you bless someone, God listens. When you intercede for your family, God acts. You are a spiritual anchor for your bloodline. Your survival keeps doors open for those who come after you. You are not just living. You are covering your lineage under God's favor. Maybe you feel forgotten. Maybe no one thanks you anymore. But heaven knows your name. God watches every act of kindness you still perform. Every word of encouragement you speak. Every time you lift someone's spirit when you could have stayed silent. These small things are great in His eyes. God keeps you because you are still sowing seeds of eternity, even when no one notices. At 60 and beyond, you are not meant to fade. You are meant to shine differently. The light of your youth burns bright and fast. The light of your maturity burns steady and deep. It comforts rather than dazzles. It warms rather than blinds. God keeps that kind of light burning because the world needs it. In an age of noise and chaos, you carry peace. In an age of pride and confusion, you carry clarity. You are a reminder that stillness is not weakness, it is strength refined by time. Do not envy the young. Many of them are lost in pursuit of things that do not last. You have something they do not have: perspective. You have seen enough to know that wealth without peace is nothing, that success without purpose is empty. God keeps you alive to remind the world of eternal truths that never age. You are a living sermon. Your wrinkles are sacred words written by time. When you reach the later years of your life, you begin to see what most people cannot see. You start to notice the invisible hand of God that has been guiding you through every decade, through every joy and every heartbreak. And when you look back, you realize that nothing was random. Every event, every person, Every delay was part of the divine design. You were never just surviving time. You were being shaped for a season that only maturity could understand. God keeps you alive after 60 because now your eyes are clear enough to see what truly matters, and your heart is deep enough to hold what others cannot yet comprehend. In your youth, you wanted to change the world. You fought, you worked, you built, you dreamed. But now, in this sacred stage of life, God invites you to change something greater. Your inner world, He calls you to peace. He calls you to stillness. He calls you to influence not through speed, but through spiritual presence. The older you become, the closer you get to the essence of who you were created to be, a soul aligned with God, not distracted by the noise of the world. That is why you are still here, because God wants the world to see what peace looks like in human form. Peace that only comes from decades of walking with Him. You are not here by accident. You are not a leftover of time. You are a masterpiece in progress. Think of a tree planted long ago. When it was young, it grew fast and wild, stretching its branches in every direction. But as it aged, its roots went deeper and its fruit grew sweeter. The same is true of you. The fruit of your life, the patience, the compassion, the calm wisdom could not have existed when you were young. God had to let you live long enough for your spirit to ripen. He keeps you alive because your fruit is needed now more than ever. You see, the world is rushing, spinning, drowning in restlessness. People chase money, fame, pleasure, power, but they have no peace. And then they meet you, a person who has lived long enough to know that all of that fades. Your calmness speaks louder than their ambition. Your gratitude convicts their complaints. Your humility corrects their arrogance. You are the silent sermon of God's truth. That is why He keeps you alive, to be a mirror of His eternal nature in a generation that has forgotten what holiness looks like. There is a sacred authority that only comes with age. You cannot buy it. You cannot fake it. It comes from the decades of talking to God when no one was listening, from the nights of pain that drove you to prayer, from the disappointments that purified your faith. When you speak now, your words carry weight because they come from experience with God. That is what the world needs. That is what families need. That is what children need. A voice that has walked through life's fire and still speaks of God's goodness. Do not waste these years worrying about what you can no longer do. Rejoice in what you can now see. You can see through deception. You can see through pretense. You can discern truth from lies because you have lived through enough to know what is real. That is why God keeps you, because He needs witnesses who have lived long enough to confirm that His promises are true. He needs elders who can say with conviction, I have seen the goodness of God in the land of the living. The strength of your youth built your life, but the wisdom of your age will bless generations. God has kept you alive, not to merely exist, but to pour out what He has poured into you. Every story you carry, every lesson you learned through pain, every revelation you received in silence, it is all meant to be given. You are a vessel of divine memory. When you speak, you remind others that God never fails, that He provides, that He restores, that He heals. that He remembers those who remember Him. Do not believe the lie that you are finished. The truth is, you are entering the most impactful stage of your purpose. God saves the deepest assignments for those who have been seasoned by time. The young may carry strength, but the wise carry vision. God does not need your speed now. He needs your stability. He does not need your energy. He needs your endurance. You have become like the mountain that does not move when storms come. Your faith is no longer a flame. It is a foundation. And on that foundation, others will stand. Sometimes, when you sit alone and the house is quiet, you may wonder if your life still matters. Listen closely, it does. Every time you pray, the heavens take notice. Every time you thank God for another day, it shifts the atmosphere. Every time you speak life over your children or whisper blessings over those you love, invisible forces move. You may not see it, but your words still carry power. God keeps your voice alive because your prayers still build walls of protection around those you love. And even if your body feels weak, your spirit is strong. God measures you not by physical strength, but by spiritual endurance. When others see wrinkles, God sees warriors. When others see aging, God sees authority. You have authority in prayer, authority in faith, authority in silence. You can change the course of your family's destiny by one sincere conversation with God. That is why He keeps you. Because your intercession still matters. You are like the roots of a tree. You may not be visible, but everything above you stands because you are still there. The family you built, the people you mentored, the kindness you gave, they are all growing because of you. Without roots, trees fall. Without elders, families crumble. Without wisdom, nations lose their way. God keeps you alive after 60 because your presence keeps balance in the spiritual structure of those around you. You are not a background character. You are the foundation. And let me tell you something else. Age is not decline, it is revelation. The older you get, the more clearly you can see the pattern of God's hand weaving through your years. You start to realize that even your mistakes had a purpose. The paths you thought were detours were divine direction. The people who left you were part of God's pruning process. The things you lost made space for what truly matters. God lets you live long enough to see how beautifully He has written your story. After 60, God draws you closer to Himself. The noise of the world begins to fade, and the voice of eternity grows louder. You begin to crave peace over pleasure, depth over drama, truth over attention. That is not boredom. That is awakening. Your soul is detaching from the temporary and preparing for the eternal. You are not dying, you are transforming. God keeps you alive to taste the sweetness of divine nearness before you return to Him. He wants you to experience what it feels like to walk earth as one whose heart already belongs to eternity. You are not forgotten. You are favored. The breath that fills your lungs today is not wasted. It is sacred air chosen for you by God Himself. Every beat of your heart is permission from heaven saying, continue. I still delight in your life. When others slow down, you rise in spirit. When others complain about aging, you bless God for wisdom. That difference, that gratitude, is what separates those who merely exist from those who live with purpose. and do not fear the future. God, who carried you through childhood, youth, and middle age, will not abandon you now. He does not invest decades of care in you only to discard you at the end. No, He finishes what He starts. And when God keeps someone alive, it is because they are still part of His unfolding plan. The divine writer has not yet written the last line of your story. There is still a chapter to be lived, one filled with peace, influence, and spiritual fulfillment. The world may measure life by years, but God measures it by impact. You may not have the speed to run anymore, but you have the insight to lead. You may not hold the tools, but you hold the truth. The time you live in now is not a sunset. It is a sunrise for your spirit. Because now your faith is pure, stripped of pride, and filled with understanding. God keeps you to shine as proof that life lived with Him never fades. It only grows deeper. There is a mystery in longevity that few understand. When God extends your days, it is not merely to let you exist longer on the earth. It is to let your spirit ripen for eternity. The later years of your life are not wasted years. They are sacred years. They are the time when your spirit learns to listen more than it speaks. When you begin to understand that every moment of breath is a classroom where God is still teaching you. If you are still here, it is because God still finds joy in your presence on this earth. It is because your life still carries divine fragrance that blesses others without you even realizing it. After 60, life becomes more about essence than activity. You may not do as much, but who you have become speaks louder than anything you could ever do. The world measures life by productivity, but God measures it by purity. By the purity of your heart, by the sincerity of your gratitude, by the gentleness of your spirit. You have reached a point where you no longer chase noise. You embody peace. That is why God keeps you alive. Because this world still needs the quiet strength that you carry. You are not in the way of the younger generation. You are their way forward. You are the silent wisdom that gives shape to their dreams. There is a beauty that comes only with age. A beauty that cannot be painted or manufactured. It is the glow of peace that shines from someone who has walked through both storms and sunlight, who has seen both failure and restoration, and still smiles. That glow is not cosmetic, it is divine. It is the light of a soul that has wrestled with pain and found rest in God's will. That light is precious, and that is why God keeps you alive. To illuminate others who are still stumbling in darkness. You have entered the age where your greatest victories are invisible. They are not the kind that make headlines or earn applause. They are victories of patience, victories of forgiveness, victories of quiet endurance. You win when you let go of bitterness. You win when you stop explaining yourself to people who will never understand. You win when you wake up each morning and say, God, thank you for another chance to see your mercy. These are not small victories, they are eternal ones. God keeps alive those who have learned how to win in silence. You may not realize it, but your spirit carries authority now. When you pray, your words carry more weight because they come from decades of walking through fire with God. When you bless someone, heaven listens. When you forgive someone, chains break. You have become a channel of divine strength because you have been refined by time. God keeps you alive because He can now trust you with deeper influence, the kind that transforms without needing attention. Do not fear slowing down. Slowing down is not the same as stopping. It is the rhythm of divine wisdom. When God slows your body, He awakens your spirit. He gives you time to notice what others overlook. The birds in the morning, the quiet laughter of children, the peace of a calm evening. In these small moments, God whispers eternal truths. You have reached the stage where He speaks to you not through thunder, but through stillness. You are being drawn closer, not farther. You are being prepared, not finished. Your later years are God's masterpiece of patience and grace. You are the proof that faith is not just for the young and hopeful. It is for the aged and faithful. When you continue to believe, even when you have seen so much pain, your faith becomes sacred fire. It warms others. It restores balance to a generation that has forgotten how to trust. You are the living memory of God's goodness, and that memory is a shield for those who come after you. That is why you are still here, because your very existence keeps the flame of remembrance alive. Sometimes God keeps you alive because someone you love still needs your prayer. Maybe there is a child who has lost their way, or a family member whose heart has grown cold. God keeps you as their covering, their shield in the unseen realm. Your prayer is the bridge between their chaos and God's mercy. You may not even know it, but your words, your faith, your very presence are protecting leaves around you. God uses the faithful hearts of elders as anchors for generations. And when you look at yourself and think, I am weak, know this: your weakness is God's strength on display. You no longer have to prove anything. You no longer have to earn anyone's validation. You are already validated by time and by faith. The same God who sustained you through the storms of youth will sustain you through the calm of maturity. He does not discard those who have served Him. He crowns them with purpose in their later years. After 60, your focus shifts from achievement to alignment. It's no longer about how much you can do, but how deeply you can walk with God. Your pace may slow, but your depth increases. You start to understand that every sunrise is a sermon, every breath is a blessing, and every heartbeat is a reminder that God is near. You stop asking why and start saying thank you. That shift is spiritual wisdom. That surrender is holiness. That peace is power. There is a generation behind you that does not understand patience. They live in a world of instant gratification. They want everything fast, success, recognition, pleasure. But you have learned the sacred rhythm of waiting. You know that God's timing is never late. You have learned that miracles are born in the soil of delay. You have learned that real strength is not loud. It is steady. You are the teacher of divine timing. You are the living proof that waiting on God never ends in regret. Your later years are not a season of retreat. They are a season of revelation. God reveals things to the mature heart that the young cannot yet bear. He opens your understanding to see the meaning behind your past, to see the divine logic behind your pain, and to recognize the beauty of every unanswered prayer. You begin to see that what didn't happen for you was never rejection. It was protection. That what you lost was not punishment. It was preparation. These revelations come only to those who have walked long enough with God to trust His silence. You have reached a stage where your peace becomes your power. You no longer react to everything. You no longer chase explanations. You have learned that not every battle is yours to fight. You have learned that some victories come not by movement, but by stillness. When you choose peace over reaction, you become a vessel of divine calm. That calm is what the world needs now. That calm is why you are still alive. Because God uses you to demonstrate what true strength looks like. The truth is, age is God's way of revealing spiritual beauty. While the body fades, the soul grows luminous. The deeper your relationship with God becomes, the more radiant your spirit appears. People may see your years, but they feel your peace. They may see your wrinkles, but they sense your grace. The outer shell may change, but the inner light only intensifies. You have become a soul refined by time, and that radiance is why God keeps you. When you pray now, your prayer is no longer filled with demands. It is filled with gratitude. You no longer ask for much. You simply thank God for what is. That kind of gratitude attracts divine favor. Gratitude opens gates that complaints could never open. And as you live with a thankful heart, you begin to walk in quiet abundance. Everything around you may look ordinary, but inside, you carry peace that no wealth can buy. God keeps you alive so that the world can see that peace is the true measure of success. And remember, as long as God wakes you up, He still wants to walk with you. Do not underestimate the mornings you open your eyes and say, "Thank you." Each morning is a divine invitation to continue the conversation you have had with God for decades. You are not forgotten, you are cherished. You are not useless, you are purposeful. You are the continuation of God's faithfulness on display. So carry yourself with quiet dignity. You have nothing to prove, nothing to chase, nothing to fear. You are a soul anchored in eternity, walking through time with grace. The world may move fast, but you move deep. The world may change, but your faith remains the same. And every day you live. Heaven records your endurance as worship. You are not living out of habit.